chance to really show their stuff and what they're worth, man. It's a very interesting time in the gaming world and the Smash community particularly as well. But that's just what we got going on for us right now, and it's absolutely better than nothing. We got our next match coming up for you guys right now. One of everybody's favorite Ike players, Yez, and SpaceJuice the Pichu.
Yeah, so SpaceJuice going to try to take down one of the better Ikes online, as Yez has been holding court with some of the best that Wi-Fi has to offer. Maybe not every single tournament they enter is a win, but always a strong showing regardless. And they have taken a few brackets here and there as well.
Oh, that's what I like to see, my friend. What I like to see. Players that I haven't heard of strutting their stuff against some of the world's finest. This is going to be an interesting one, to say the absolute least, because it's burst options like that a character like Pichu really has to watch out for. I feel like at sort of the layman's level, they might see a matchup like this and think, oh man, Pichu will definitely be able to just easily rush down a character like Ike, and that is not necessarily true. Ike is not going to give you that for free. He's got that neutral air, which he can just easily spam in the neutral, get a character like Pichu off of him while setting up into any and all of the ridiculous kill confirms that Ike has. He can armor through a lot of Pikachu's low weak hit attacks like back air right there if he just doesn't feel like dealing with it. And above all else, you can almost die off the top to a spike on the complete opposite end of the level due to being one of the lightest characters in the entire game. Back air going to finish it out for Yez.
Yeah, I mean, SpaceJuice, not too many sets to their name. Pretty much the exact opposite for someone like Yez. Again, one of the more celebrated Ikes online. Over 2,000 games as Ike on this one. Occasionally will break out the Cloud and the Hero. Try to utilize a little bit more of those neutral interactions. But yeah, this is someone who is very familiar with the Wi-Fi realm. I mean, this is just from a tournament 4 days ago. Death Spade, Capitancito, and Raven King all going down to this Ike, and they are showing why they are so dangerous. As they only just lost their first stock to this Pichu, who's honestly not doing all that poorly.
No, he's definitely given him a little taste of the SpaceJuice right here, despite Yez not being accustomed to it, not particularly his flavor. But Pichu, being one of the lightest characters in the game, will still almost die to fully charged Ike Eruption. My goodness, sending him right back to the volcanoes of Hawaii. That is ridiculous stuff coming out from Yez right there. I thought for sure that SpaceJuice would have been able to at least up-B his way back to the safety of the other side of Smashville or something, considering how quick and how nimble the quick attack really is, but nothing doing. Still hanging around Ike. Very ballsy to deal with a move like that up close, but SpaceJuice is going to pay the price for it.
Yeah, I bet you thought, right? I bet you thought. But that was just unreal what we saw from Yez. And now this is a last stock situation for this Pichu. It's a rough place to be, but also not necessarily untenable. It's just you're going to be at a deficit no matter what. Just as the situation arises, certainly that back air is going to keep it that way. You're just a little too light to handle everything that the Pichu, that the Ike can throw at you. And yeah, it's just one of those stray hits you can kill so easily as Ike, sometimes by accident. But yeah, that had every single intention right there. Oh my goodness, that was just brutal.
Honest to God, I mean, with all due respect to SpaceJuice, I feel like he just simply did not have to die there. He really didn't. I mean, any sort of grounded options wouldn't have really worked right there. That would have covered roll because it was charged so much to the point where it probably would have hit behind him a little bit. Obviously can't do get up attack. It wouldn't have... Yez's spacing was proper enough to the point where a get up attack with a very little stubby character like Pichu wouldn't have worked. Obviously neutral get up would have gotten hit by it as well. His only option was to jump and then just do some kind of other option out of that, whether it's an up B to get back to the other side of the stage and quick attack, jump air dodge to be able to make it back, something like that. Even hell, going underneath the level, just drop ledge, side being, skull bashing his way to the other side of the level and grabbing that ledge, but nothing doing. My man decided to contest one of the strongest charge moves in the entire game as one of the lightest characters in the entire game. Takes balls, but I don't know how wise of an idea it was.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where you need the brain more than you do the chutzpah. But that's an unfortunate development for SpaceJuice, who will just have to hold that L for for the time being, as we are going to game number 2 in this one, right over to Smashville, and yeah, I kind of like the stage pick for SpaceJuice, but at the same time, if you're Yez, you can keep him at distance and certainly keep him at ledge a little bit easier. You're almost forcing SpaceJuice to try to go to that platform or something riskier if they do find themselves in disadvantage.
You know, it's an interesting conundrum, Stu, because I feel like, you know, any and all things can sort of work for and against Pichu, depending on how careful the Pichu is in his gameplay. Because, yeah, small stage right here, it kind of makes a lot of sense, considering that not only Pichu will kill earlier here, but he doesn't have to play as much neutral as Ike, and Pichu's frame data is a lot better than Ike's, so in the meat, he'll have a lot more opportunities to actually beat Ike to the punch and therefore keep him in disadvantage a little longer. As well as the fact that, you know, it's Pichu. He knows he's one of the lightest characters in the game as that forward tilt takes the stock. So regardless of what stage he's on, I feel like maybe SpaceJuice probably realizes that if he goes to a bigger stage, he's sort of only handicapping himself because he's still going to die at relatively early percents because he's Pichu and he's very light. And then Ike is just going to be the one that lives longer. So if anything, it's just sort of prolonging his demise a little more. Here, there's a little bit more opportunities for Pichu to, like, really CQC and just really win these in the meat exchanges right here because he knows that size of the stage doesn't matter. I'm going to die pretty early regardless, so might as well take my chances when I see him.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of the thing, isn't it? Yeah, you might kill a little sooner, but also you have decent potential to just die at 70. So this is a values decision that SpaceJuice is coming to. Yeah, you've been in kill percent for like the last 30 seconds or so, and that's just something that SpaceJuice is going to have to deal with right now as they are down to their winner's side stock. Top 32 action here, and Yez, again, one of the more celebrated competitors online. I mean, you name some of the best players on this platform, they have certainly taken them down. People like Hungrybox and Spargo and Salem. Certainly Pharaoh, that a good friend of ours. In fact, won a tournament over Sharp, beating them in two separate sets. Like, this is an Ike that they have faced off against the best, and they have won. And certainly no exception here. A decisive victory for Yez on Smashville, and it was not without an effort from SpaceJuice. Simply not enough to take down Yez.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much SpaceJuice was really feeling that in the second half of that game. He started doing fully charged skull bashes on the level right here that he probably knew was going to get countered. Wasn't really feeling it. That forward smash, though, going to be able to easily catch the Ike side B. And this is what we're talking about. Like, in these sort of in-the-meat exchanges, I feel like that's all SpaceJuice was really going for. Yet he never really like took advantage of the huge strings that a character like Pichu has. We didn't see a single back air reset in this entire set. And then at the end right here, when he was just up by a whole stock, there's no way that any player would have known that was not an ill-advised option right there. I think he just decided to go for that skull bash because he might have been done, or maybe he thought it was just such an unorthodox option that it would have caught Yez off guard. But what I didn't see from SpaceJuice throughout that set was any back air resets or any ways to really extend the immense combos that Pichu really has. He kept just trying to beat Ike to the punch in the neutral because of Pichu having the immense frame data that he does, but you don't get to be a player of Yez's caliber if you don't know the weak spots of your own character and how you can muster up your own counterplay. And one of those ways is, of course, Ike up B, Ether out of shield, and in those exchanges, Yez just beat him to the punch where it mattered.